Happy birthday from a friend from long ago. And boy, it has been a little bit of time, hasn't it? Seems like just yesterday, but it was a while ago since the last time that Sarah and I saw you and Doug. I think we were expecting our third child, and it was just last month that we ended up dropping our third child off at college for the very first time. Time has a tendency of getting away from us, I guess, at this stage of our lives. So 60, huh? Huh. It seemed like it was just, I don't know, about 30 years ago that we were driving back from a showing of the Phantom of the Opera in Denver. A bunch of other people in the car, and we were talking about our first memories. And something that you had said triggered some little math in my head, and I go, wait a minute. This girl that I've been hanging out with is 30 years old. And to a 20-year-old airman, that was pretty old. But now 60, and that also means that I'm probably about 50 too. But I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. I was excited when I got Doug's email and wanted to send something along the way to wish you a happy birthday, and was remembering basically about the first time that I met you. It was about April of 1991. I might have met you the summer before, but that was the time that Eric and I flew out to California to bring you back to Colorado Springs for the 2-year LDI program. We got up early in the morning, drove up to Denver, hopped on a military plane that flew us to Malmstrom Air Force Base in Montana, then to some base in Washington State, and then down to Travis Air Force Base in California, where you picked us up. Eric and I were ready. We wanted to see California. We wanted to experience all sorts of things in California. I'm not sure you were. Having to find a military base in the middle of the night, and then picking up 2 guys that you really didn't know that much, and why am I letting these guys stay in my house? But you did, and Eric and I tried to jam as much of California and your family and your church and in your town into as few days as we could. Boy, we did. We saw the Modesto Arch. Yep, right here. The genuine Modesto postcard circa 1991. And it has the arch on it. Water, wealth, contentment, health. Yep, doesn't get any better than that. Also had a chance to eat artichoke salad. Had never done that before and haven't done it too many times since. We saw almond trees. Or maybe they're called almond trees. Never got that quite straight. We had a chance to go down Lombard Street in San Francisco and visit Pier 39 and see the seals or the walruses. Look at Alcatraz from across the bay. We ate clam chowder out of a sourdough bread bowl. We even got our caricatures drawn. Yep, here it is. When we had it drawn, Eric made me promise that I wouldn't show it to anybody, but I think after 30 years, the statute of limitations has kind of run out on that one. Here it is, Jeff, Faye, and Eric. Eric with a slight attitude that we're making him sit through this entire process. We rode the cable cars and had a lot of fun. Hanging out in San Francisco, we did as much as we possibly could. Seeing the Golden Gate Bridge as well and the Presidio. We jammed as much fun as we could in a couple of days before we packed up a little blue Mazda 626 and headed back to Colorado. I got to sit in the back with some sort of ficus plant type thing all folded up in the back of that little car, but I'm not bitter or anything. It was fun. We took Highway 50 back most of the way, if you remember that. Went through a bunch of small towns like this one, Ely, Nevada. Yep, not much to this little town. Apparently there's a gas mart that sells postcards and gas, but there wasn't much else, and it was the middle of the night, so they thought we were a little strange buying postcards anyway. We got to see free-range cattle on that trip, and bathrooms that had slot machines in them. Giant elk that came, whose knees were right outside our window on that Mazda, and towns that were about 1 gas tank full of gas apart from each other on that trip. Yeah, it was an adventure. We got back and then split for a couple days as neither of us wanted to talk to anybody that was on that trip for a few days. But then the rest of it's a blur of barbecues, of hiking. Here's one of you and Pam Edwards and Doug and myself getting ready to go hiking, house sitting, marriages, moving, and then finally Eric and I separated in '93 and headed back home. But I missed you guys so much that I ended up heading back in the spring of that year to the annual spring conference at Horn Creek Conference Center. Spent some time with you and Doug again. And then we didn't see much of each other until I think you came out for my wedding. You and Doug were the people that came the farthest that weren't physically involved in the wedding. You didn't have any other part except to be there to observe. And Sarah and I still appreciated the fact that you would make that kind of investment in our lives to come and see us. And then a few years later, in 2001, we came out and kind of returned the favor for Keith and headed to come see Colorado as well as to be a part of his wedding. And it was during that trip that Sarah had a chance to eat the Faye's famous artichoke salad. But after that, time has gone by. Since that time, we have added 4 more children for a total of 7. Yeah, here's a recent picture that we have. This was taken just about a month ago, and we all had some time together, grabbing some lunch right before we dropped our kids off for college. And I would love to be there today. I wish I could, and Doug invited, and I'd love to pack up the family and just kind of head out there and go, particularly because Doug was in charge of the refreshments. I was pretty sure there was not going to be any artichoke salad there, but since we can't be there, let me wish you a very happy birthday and many happy returns on your day. But before I leave, let me leave you with a verse, or at least encourage you with a verse that's meant a lot to me lately. It's Psalm 16, verse 8. I have set the Lord always before me. Because he is at my right hand, I shall not be moved. Faye, let me encourage you to always put the Lord, his attributes, his character, his promises, keep them right out in front, meditating on them regularly, having them at the ready, memorizing them, studying them, learning them. So when the trials and the troubles and the testing come, you are able to have victory. You're able to stand firm. You're able to not be moved because you know who your God is. I don't know what you're going through. I'm hoping today is a happy day, but I'm pretty sure that trials and testing and troubles are going to come. Set the Lord always before you, because he is at your right hand. You shall not be moved. Happy birthday again, Faye, and enjoy your day.